Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. First thing I want to say is thank you all so much for all the lovely and kind comments, all the subscribers. I can't believe I haven't actually checked how many of you joined, but just all the comments I need to get back to, so please bear with me. But thank you so much to everyone that's just left such kind and warm wishes and welcomes, and it's just been very overwhelmed, to be honest, but I just can't believe that there's so many of you out there that, you know, are in the same position as me, like feel quite lonely, and also some of you are disabled and have health issues as well, so it's quite comforting to see how, you know, others who are in the same situation as me and they've joined BookTube for the same reason. So yeah, thank you so much for coming and joining. And yeah, hi everyone. Just popping in to say I've just checked my subscriber count and there's like over 1,000, which is just, oh my gosh. I've just been crying because I genuinely cannot believe, I can't, I'm speechless. And the comments, oh my God. Like, genuinely, I cannot believe how nice people have been. Oh my gosh, I'm crying again. Like I said in my previous video, I've been so rock bottom for 2.5 years. I've just been going through so much. At the beginning of my health problems, I was completely bedridden and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't look at a computer screen. I couldn't look at a phone screen. I couldn't have a conversation. I couldn't speak because I was so poorly. And to be able to do this is just, I feel so privileged, and I can't believe so many people have been so kind. Thank you so much to everyone who's said such lovely things. I don't know if I'm even going to show this because I'm crying. All of your lovely comments, like, you genuinely don't know how much I appreciate it. So thank you. Yeah, back to the video. Today's video is going to be a book haul. I'd say 90% of my books are from World of Books, which is a second-hand bookshop. The books are always really like amazing condition. I'm always really pleased with them when I receive them. So that kind of means that I don't really review like new-ish books unless I really want to. But some of them here aren't that old. There's one here which only just came out like a month or so ago. So if you are on a bit of a budget like me and you're not too much in a hurry to pre-order a book, I would highly recommend World of Books, because the books are discounted because they're secondhand, and I guess you're helping out the planet. And yeah, I really recommend them. So the first book I've got here is Open Water by Caleb Azumah Nelson. So I initially picked this book up as I saw it floating around on Goodreads, and I heard good things about the author, as I think he's got a recent book out called Small Worlds, I think. And I wanted to read a Black story where we're not always, you know, in the state of oppression and just you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't want to, well, I shouldn't jump the gun because I'm assuming this probably is a bit of a negative story, but I'm not sure. I just didn't really want to read just like a really like oppressive story, because I've been reading a lot of those and it's just so like draining sometimes. So this is a story about two young Black British people who meet in a pub in southeast London, and they're both privately educated, where they've like struggled to fit in. They're both really successful. The guy, he's a photographer, and the girl, she's a dancer. They're kind of destined to be together and they eventually get together, but I think we kind of find out all is not what it seems to be. So I'm really excited to read this. I think the book shares like insights on conversations about race and masculinity, I guess social dynamics and power dynamics and privilege, I would have thought. And yeah, I don't actually know how I'm going to feel about this book. I haven't, you know, read any reviews on it, so I'm going in quite blind. I hope it's a good story, but I don't know, I'm a bit scared. I hope I'm not sad. I'm really looking forward to reading this. The next book I picked up is Assembly by Natasha Brown. This is a really small, tiny little book, which I think I'll probably smash out in like an afternoon or something. I've heard it's quite a punchy, powerful book. A few of you actually recommended this to me, and I saw this floating around on Goodreads and BookTube, so I really wanted to pick it up. This is narrated by a Black British woman, and from what I gathered from the blurb, she seems like another woman who is, under pressure and is doing what is expected of her and just trying to survive as a Black person in a white space. I don't know about any of you guys, but I've been there during my career. Sometimes I've only been the only Black person in the room, and it's really difficult sometimes. So yeah, I'm really interested to read this. What stood out to me was the blurb, which says, "Come of age in the credit crunch, be civil in a hostile environment, step out into a world of go home vans, go to Oxbridge, get an education, start a career, do all the right things, buy a flat, buy art, buy a sort of happiness, but above all, keep your head down, keep quiet and keep going." So that really stood out to me, and also had a bit of a read on Goodreads, and it says that we know that she's preparing to attend an exciting, well-to-do, lavish garden party at a boyfriend's family estate, which is set in the deep countryside here in the UK. I thought just from that premise alone, that really stuck to me, and I want to see how she navigates these white spaces as a Black woman, as a Black British woman. So I'm really looking forward to reading this book. So yeah, I think it's going to be really impactful. It's got loads of reviews from The Times, Guardian, loads of different authors. Shondaland I just saw. Oh, it's good if it's got a Shondaland. So yeah, so I'm really excited to read this. The next book I've got is Edge of Here by Kelechi Okafor. So I've heard of Kelechi from one of my favourite podcasts, which I listen to, is the Receipts podcast. She's been a guest on there a couple of times. Kelechi is just such a intelligent, spiritual, very in-depth woman. She's got so much on about her. And when she was on the podcast, she was talking about the new book that she's got. And I was actually so close to pre-ordering this, but I was so skinned. So I was constantly refreshing World of Books to see if it came on there. And luckily it did. I think this was only published in September. What this is a collection of short stories. It's made for fans of Black Mirror, so that sold me. And I think it also has that sci-fi element with things like microchips in the brain, and things like that. I think she said on the podcast about a world where you can experience the emotions of another person through a chip implanted in your brain, and one where you can view snippets of a distant relative's life with a little help from your DNA. Just so very Black Mirror-esque. I thought it was really cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I hope it's really good. I think it's going to be a little bit different for me, but I think I'll enjoy it. Another book I picked up was The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Deesha Philyaw. Is that how you say it? I'll double check. This is another collection of short stories, and I added this straight to my TBR when I saw what's her name, Noelle, I think, Gallagher, here on BookTube. She recommended this in her bookshelf tour video. It just sounded like my cup of tea, and I just had to add it. So this follows the scandalous lives of the women in the church congregation, and I think in this there'll be some raw and heartbreaking stories, yet there'll be some like funny, sexy stories, I think. Yeah, so it says here, The Secret Lives of Church Ladies explores the raw and tender places where Black women and girls dare to follow their desires and pursue a momentary reprieve from being good. There is 14-year-old JL, who nurses a crush on the preacher's wife. The mother who bakes a sublime peach cobbler every Monday for her date with the married pastor, and Eula and Caroletta, single childhood friends who seek solace in each other's arms every New Year's Eve. With their secret belongings, new love and forbidden affairs, these church ladies are as seductive as they want to be, as vulnerable as they need to be, and as unfaithful and unrepentant as they care to be, and as free as they deserve to be. I cannot wait to read this book. When I was young, my parents and my family are Christian, and I've grown up in the church environment, so it's so interesting. It's going to be really interesting reading this. It's also been recommended by Caleb Azumah Nelson, who I just showed from the other book, and Candice Carty-Williams as well. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. This next book I picked up was recommended from one of my work colleagues after I told her I was reading Luster. Before, I didn't enjoy it. And she recommended this to me as it sort of sounded similar. So this is Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors, and this has a I think this is like an age gap relationship. This book is centered around Chloe, who lives in New York. She's a student, she's on a student visa, she's a bit of a party girl, a bit of a party animal, and on New Year's Eve she meets Frank, who's a very successful guy, and he's 20 years her senior, so he's able to provide her with everything she needs, and you know, the security, the green card, so they set out and get married. So then I think we find out what happens after that. I'm not too sure, but it sounds very messy. But yeah, this has been on my TBR for a while, so I'm so glad I picked it up. I really want to read it, hopefully before the end of the year. The next book I've got is After I Do by Jenkins Reid. I'm very late to Taylor Jenkins Reid. I know about her first book, not the first book, the popular book, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is on my TBR, but this will be my first book from Taylor. I'm aware everyone raves about that, but I just wanted to read this one. This is about Lauren and Ryan, who meet at college. They fall in love and they get married, but 10 years later, their marriage starts to crumble, and then they come up with a plan and take a year off from each other, and they can't contact each other for the whole year. I picked up this book because this sounds a little similar to an audio book I listened to earlier this year called The Rebound by Leanne Slade, which I absolutely loved. If you've got Audible, it's free on there. Well, it was when I listened to it. It might not be, but it was free, and I really recommend it. 5-starred it. It was a really nice, fluffy contemporary read. Yeah, this sounds sort of similar to that. I think we mainly follow Lauren in the break, but I could be wrong. It would be nice if we could follow Ryan and Lauren, because it'd be good to get each of their perspectives during this year. Will they get back together? I hope so, because I'm just a soppy person. I love romance, but if they're a toxic marriage, then obviously not. It's best that they do separate. I really like reading books about marriage. I'm a newlywed myself. Like, literally, me and my husband, we haven't even been married 3 months yet, so newlywed. Sort of similar to these guys. We met at university, and like 10 years later we got married, so let's hope there isn't our marriage doesn't crumble yet. But yeah, so I'm really excited to read this. And last but certainly not least, we've got Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. This has popped up so many times. So many people have commented saying I would like this. One of my best friends recommended this to me. It's been on my TBR for ages, so I picked it up. We follow a girl called Amira, and she's a babysitter, which tells me everything I need to know. She's young and she's broke. We know that she's apprehended in a supermarket as she's looking after a white child. I'm assuming she's black, which is flipping crazy and wild, if you ask me. And it sets like a chain of events. And I think there's someone else that we follow, her employer, Alex, who's a feminist blogger. I think she gets involved with it or something, but I'm not too sure what is going to happen with this story, but I know so many people have recommended it, so I'm really excited to read it. This book, I think, is going to have conversations about privilege and social power dynamics and race and feminism, of course, but equally I know this is going to make me really angry, I think. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this. Jojo Moyes and Taylor Jenkins Reid have commented on this as well, so that's also a good sign. That's all the books I picked up. I don't know if I'm going to read them all before the end of the year. Probably not, to be honest. But I'm just genuinely really excited to read them all. I think I've heard such good things of all of them, and it's been a while since I've been really, really, really excited to get stuck into books. So that was my haul. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about these books. Please, no spoilers, of course, but yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, or just have a chat. Hope you're all doing well. And I'll speak to you soon.